How's it going, Vlad? How's everything going today?
Fine, fine. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. It's really exciting to have you here. I see it. Broxus has a lot of cool tech coming out recently. The bridge is really coming together, as well as a flat cube. It's really exciting to see.
Thank you for appreciation.
Yeah, so just for the viewers on the channel, would you mind kind of giving a brief sort of summary of yourself, where you're from, and what Broxus is doing with the Everscale blockchain?
Yeah, hello everyone. So my name is Vladislav. I'm CEO of a company named Broxus. So we are focusing on the mostly DeFi and toolset development for the Everscale blockchain, and on top of that, so we are one of the principal validators of the network. So and we participate actively in the network development itself. As brief as I can.
No problem, no problem. So your team pretty much, your company pretty much builds applications on top of the Everscale blockchain. That's correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, personally, what kind of brought us together today, I think, was the Octus Bridge and all of the sort of interchain operability you guys are kind of putting out there, the Layer 0 bridge. Personally, I've really enjoyed it. It's a really seamless experience. It seems really cool because it's decentralized, unlike some of the other Layer 0s I've seen that are very, very centralized. And also the fees are extremely cheap, and that's really, really cool. It makes it really accessible to anybody in the world, not just, whales on Ethereum. So where did you get the inspiration for this, and sort of what was the background of Octus Bridge?
Very good question, thank you. So actually, what we are focusing, so maybe I need to get a bit intro about the Broxus in this case. So actually, we started as a blockchain integration company, so who was helping different businesses to easily interact with different blockchains like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Monero or a set of other blockchains. But later on, when we actively participated in the launch of the Everscale, so it started to become obvious that in order to boost the ecosystem, so we need to get a really well-designed gate to let the liquidity flow into the ecosystem. So, and we started doing some really tough research of all the existing bridge solutions at that moment. So there were not that plenty like now, for example. So there were, well, REN protocol, there was some ROP BTC. So the solutions that were mostly centralized, and we found a lot of criticism about this, and a lack of transparency, a lack of high fees, high entry thresholds. So you, for example, could not at that time to transfer a lot of BTC, a small amount of BTC actually through, for example, REN protocol. So you need to really have a big bulk of it to rope it onto Ethereum side. So, and we initially decided to create a solution that, first of all, will be transparent from one point to another. So, meaning that it will be open sourced, it will be secure, it will be run by a set of validators with open rules how to become a validator of this bridge. So we call them relayers. And actually, we achieved this in several stages. So the first one was launched somewhat end of 2020, beginning of 2021. When we created the first version of the bridge, it was really simple. It was just contained a set of predefined tokens that could be transferred from Ethereum to Freeton. That's how Everscale was called at that time, and backwards. And we learned a lot on this first version. So, and we initially kept the amount of liquidity that could be transferred. So, and even with this, so we managed to reach something like 15 million USD in TVL for this product. And later on, when we got a lot of feedback from our community, and it's very active and very passionate. So, and we try to listen really carefully to what they say. So we started improving our interfaces, our architecture of the bridge itself to make it more convenient and more fit in the needs of the market. And in this case, the protocol itself was improved to support not only just token transfer, that's pretty much what every bridge does, but to become a more universal solution that is able to transfer anything between different blockchains. So, and that's actually why we call it layer 0. So this is kind of underlying bus for interconnection between different blockchains. So, and in this case, Everscale is just a good place for a consensus because it's cheap and fast, but we do not discriminate any other network in that sense.
I see. So you guys really take a customer focusing on what the customer is looking for, and try and match the needs of the end users. That's really cool. I really like that about Everscale in general, and all the Broxus products I've used so far. They always seem to have like a very, very customer focus. So yeah, very cool, very cool. I was curious about the bridge token. So basically, it's all launched on the Everscale blockchain. But the bridge token itself, you need to stake bridge tokens, and you need to stake a certain amount in order to become a validator node. And then sort of what are the spec requirements, and sort of what kind of people are you looking to go ahead and run a relayer node? Is this like a normal blockchain node or something similar to that?
Well, actually, it is a combination. So it is of course, a server software, so you just start and run on your server rack or in the cloud. So it depends on your preference, and it's it's demanding, of course, because it contains the connections to different RPCs of different blockchains, and it requires first of all a good internet connection, so of the server. So you cannot just take the home PC, without stable connection through a mobile operator and run the relayer of the bridge. No, it should be a professional server, so that you can use. And of course, so you have the threshold of 100K of bridge tokens that you need to stake to validate your relayer node. So and add it to the election period. So actually, it works very simple. So there can be no more than 100 of relayer nodes in one validation round. So, and there are elections that are simply based on the amount of bridge tokens that you are sending to the elector contract. We do not apply any specific requirements to who can be the relayer. So because this is by design, we do not want to censor somehow who is the validator. But however, we are monitoring closely the behavior of those relayers, because, for example, someone could just take the stake and start just providing some misinformation, because it's money, and so we are tracking this carefully. In this case, so there's a slashing mechanism that we already unfortunately had to apply once. So when one of the relayers who's just starting misbehaving, so we had to slash him to make money secure in the bridge, because the principal priority for us is fund security, of course.
I see. And are the bridge relayer nodes, are they actually paid out in bridge tokens, or are they paid out in fees from the bridge itself?
Could you rephrase, please?
Oh, for the relayer nodes, is it paid by the inflation fees from like a blockchain sort of thing, or is it okay?
Yeah, so let me maybe make a short introduction to the economics of the bridge. So actually, the core business of the Octus Bridge is the liquidity. So we are managing liquidity, and when people and businesses are transferring liquidity from one chain to another, so it is locked on special smart contracts that are named vaults. So, and these vaults are using the Yarn technology, so which was built up by our engineers, and a part of this liquidity is later invested in low-risk protocols like compatable funds like Avax, something that seems really low risk and providing low return fee. But when you, for example, invest there a few $1 million, so and even if you get 5% APY, so this is still a decent amount of money.
Yep.
And later on, so 50% of this revenue is paid directly to relayers who were validating in this validation round, and 50% to all the stakeholders, meaning including relayers, of course, but anyone who owns bridge tokens can stake the bridge tokens in Octus Bridge and participate in revenue distribution. Unlike farming or any other DeFi mechanics, bridge staking is not promising any set reward, but it's correlated with the amount of liquidity that is locked in the bridge itself. And typically we accrue revenues quarterly. So, and now we're approaching the next round of revenue distribution. So hopefully it will happen within a month. And the more liquidity is transferred through the bridge from all ends, so the more strategies we can apply to managing this liquidity, and the more is the revenue. And so as there is a really limited number of relayers who can validate the bridge, so as I said, 100 is a maximum that can be in the round. So this revenue is distributed among the limited number of actors. So meaning that the more liquidity, the directly higher rewards are getting the relayers. Now, what the reward is paid in? So actually, the strategies that are connected to the bridge in Ethereum, in BNB chain, and all other chains, so they are actually collecting dividends and revenues from the strategies in different forms. This can be different tokens like USDTs, USDCs, DAIs, roped Bitcoins, Ethers, whatever. So typically we prefer to focus on most popular and liquid assets, of course. Later on, at the moment of the revenue distribution, all these revenues are converted to one form, for example, USDT, yeah, and transferred back through the bridge to Everscale, where they are used to buy out the bridge tokens from the open market. And then those purchased bridge tokens are distributed among all stakeholders, as I said before.
I see. So basically, bridge token isn't inflationary at all. Is that true? Except for maybe the rewards from the liquidity pool, Ever and bridge tokens, right? They have a liquidity pool that pays out bridge tokens. But is that like the only sort of bridge inflation rewards that you guys have set up?
Well, actually, there is set amount of bridge tokens, so there are 14 million, and there will never be more. So, and maybe we will even one day think of just reducing the amount of the bridge tokens, but there are yet no plans for that. So, and we use the liquidity from the distribution of the bridge tokens. So first of all, goes to the DAO of the bridge itself. So 65% of all bridge tokens is controlled by the DAO, meaning that anyone with a decent amount of bridge tokens can vote for investing a part of them into something. For example, into the farming pool, into the liquidity pool, into some partnership, into some grant program, whatever. And in that sense, so it's not inflationary at all. So but however, this mechanics, this economic concept that is built into the bridge, so it organically pushes the price of the bridge token, at least at the end of each reward round.
So it slowly goes up in price because of the actual revenue accrued. So
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Do you guys do reports of the revenue accrual at all? I haven't looked into it at all. Sorry.
Well, actually, as the bridge is still, I would say, in the growing phase. So in terms of strategies, we are really careful about fund security. That's why we extremely carefully take on the investing those locked funds into some strategies. So there's only a small amount of current TVL invested in convex strategies and beyond strategies right now. So we for now donate a part of the revenue from this reserve funds, from our own funds actually, but we are targeting this year to break at least 100 million USD in TVL. And this will let us to deliver the fair revenue that was accrued based on TVL invested in different protocols and distributed among relayers. So for now, it's if I remember it well, so it's something like 5-6% APY, but it's not that big. But as the TVL grows, so it starts getting bigger.
Yeah, and that's actual revenue. It's not inflation rewards either, which is something
absolutely.
You got to think about, right? I think everybody in the crypto space it's like, oh, 160% APR, but it's not actual revenue. Whereas with Bridge it seems like actual revenue. And FlatCube, I'm curious, the 100 million you guys you're talking about, is that also including FlatCube's TVL?
No. FlatCube is a totally different product. So it's its own financial KPIs and benchmarks. So when I say about TVL for the Octus Bridge, I mean specifically just the sum of all assets locked in its vaults. Neither protocol can access those funds except the bridge itself, actually. So, and meaning that, for example, if you think that we can easily drag the money, for example, and put them from the vaults and put them to farming or to some other stake, it's not that easy. So it should be a strategy that shall be audited and checked and then voted in the DAO of the bridge, and only after that it will be executed and connected to the bridge itself. And if we speak about FlatCube, so of course, part of the liquidity that is currently staked in the FlatCube has come from other networks, and now it is in a wrapped form, provides the liquidity for the FlatCube now. But now we are getting more and more native tokens coming from the Everscale network, and who are building the liquidity pools, who are attracting more and more funds. And moreover, with the recent listings of Everscale native currency ever on exchanges, it became much more easy to transfer money as well here. And hopefully when we get first Everscale tokens listed on exchanges as well, so it will be a direct liquidity inflow as well.
Awesome, that sounds great. Just to clarify what you mean by how you guys put the vaults in on the different on the different sides of the bridge, is you basically right now what you're doing is let me see. Initially, when you did did you do like an initial vault sale to have people lock in USD so that they could get bridge tokens in exchange, so they lock it in for a certain amount of time? Or how did you guys get the initial sort of liquidity for the vaults?
It's not like this. So actually, the first liquidity that we got to the bridge was thanks to the work of the DeFi Alliance. So the structure in the Everscale network, so that is aimed at working with liquidity providers and funds. And we did really a great job together with them on convincing different family offices and funds that they can provide the liquidity to the bridge and transfer it to the Everscale. It was done through some incentives, through the farming program, so quite a set of programs, and that let us prove the concept and also test all the mechanisms and get a lot of feedback. So later on, so after the initial liquidity inflow, so it was something like first 8 million, I would say. So the next 7 to 8 million, so they came organically through the market. So when people, nobody wants to be the first, actually. So and that's always the chicken and the egg problem when you need first to get the first liquidity at any case to your product, and later on it will be much easier to attract it from the open market. And when people saw that a decent amount of liquidity is already provided to the bridge, so they started seamlessly using the bridge, going to Ethereum from Ethereum, so using Everscale farms and later on.
I see, I see. Yeah, one thing I really like about Everscale is the DeFi Alliance and how they kind of work together to go ahead and provide support for all of the different dApps in the ecosystem. It's really, I don't know, kind of builds on itself. So that's really awesome.
Thank you.
So yeah, I want to kind of touch a little bit on the bridge's governance. So what kind of governance have you guys had so far, governance proposals, and sort of how you said there's 65% of the bridge sort of tokens locked up in the governance proposal. So you can, that's for paying out, like if you guys want to do an investment in another small project, or if you feel like you need more, you need to sell for a certain amount of liquidity on, say, for example, the Ethereum side, so you can get listed on Ethereum DEX or something. Are those kind of examples you guys are looking for to go ahead and make proposals for?
Yeah, actually, so there is a whole program for those funds, so that is currently being prepared. It was aimed to boost the bridge, specifically the bridge ecosystem development, not Everscale or anything, so bridge ecosystem. And we understood very clearly at the very beginning that it is impossible to push everything by our own hands, so by creating different applications, whatever, but rather we would like to incentivize the market to integrate the Octus as a underlying protocol for the applications. And but before doing this, so actually we had to pass a certain roadmap to provide all the tool sets, to provide good documentation, to provide well done examples on how to use the Octus Bridge and get the first use cases implemented. So, and for all of this, so this was the bigger part allocated for the Octus Bridge, and it can be used to fund different kinds of programs. So it may be grants program, it may be farming programs, it may be co-funding liquidity, it may be just targeted development funding, or maybe it may be directed, for example, to marketing or conference organization, whatever. But yeah, to use this money, so actually, so we have the true on-chain DAO that is available in the bridge interface, that anyone with a stake of at least 100k bridge tokens can submit their proposal that will later just call on the multi-sig wallet controlled by the DAO and distribute a certain amount of bridge tokens to a specific destination. So for now, we already published several proposals on the DAO. So most part of them was linked to connecting new strategies to the bridge, to let the bridge use this locked liquidity and earn the revenue for its stakeholders. But I think that the next proposal will go about the newly formed fund. So that was announced by our founder Sergey Shashev recently. So this fund will be directed to boost a much wider set of projects that are willing to use Octus and Everscale ecosystem. So, and I just don't want to give too much details until it's published officially.
No, that makes sense. We can always talk about it another day.
Just keep an eye on our social media, so you will see the publication soon.
Yeah, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the notifications channel for the Everscale. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to make sure you stay on top of everything happening. For example, a really good what do you call it, a big announcement that just happened was the bridge and the Qube token airdrop to people transferring from Wever from Everscale to Ethereum using the bridge. That's correct?
Yes. So that's actually the way how we work with the community. So we try to encourage people to use our solutions and somehow interconnect them. So for example, the recent activities that we launched. So 1 week activity was to transfer the roped Ever, so the native currency of Everscale, through the bridge to Ethereum network to let more liquidity and make it more accessible for people from outside of the ecosystem. And we allocated a certain amount of Qube tokens and bridge tokens for incentivizing those transfers. And so normally we do not disclose any terms of the airdrop. So, but believe me, it will be very good.
Ooh, you hear that, guys? Got a big airdrop coming. I've been pushing this on Twitter, but if you guys are interested in getting into the Everscale blockchain, this is a very, very good opportunity, I think. It gets you to use their bridge, which is really a really nice dApp. It only takes a couple seconds to go across. And then you can go to Ethereum and just hold your Wever there. And then I think when the program is over, we can move our Wever back to Everscale and then stake it. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So this is, the main objective of this program. So it's actually several objectives that we are targeting with it. The first one is to make people try our new interfaces, because we are constantly upgrading the product, so there are a lot of new things happening, and typically people do not use the bridge too often because they only because of the gas fees. Yes, actually. So, and to help them to understand better what is going on and to feel better what we are doing, just with their own fingertips. So we just subsidized, in fact, so they transfers to make them try and show. And the second objective was also to show to some ecosystem players in Ethereum that there is a very active and passionate community on the Everscale side, and just make those two networks interconnect better. So, and prove that it's worth to pay attention to Everscale, because actually bridge token and Qube token they are natively issued in Everscale. So a lot of things that are interconnected, and we are achieving them through such airdrops. Currently, this specific airdrop is over, so, and we will be getting, if not already, the snapshot of the balances to calculate the rewards. But I think that we will also introduce something else within a month.
Okay, so and just a recommendation, guys, for anybody who's doing this ASAP, so you can get on the airdrop. I don't know if the snapshot was taken yet. He probably can't say on here. But if you do it, make sure you don't do it on git.io. Try and do it from the Binance chain, because I know some people who got their funds locked on Binance chain, and now they can't participate in the airdrop because, they got locked on git.io because they got the KYC block. So make sure you go through the BSC if you can. Go through Binance and then withdraw to BSC and then go to Everscale from there. It's just my recommendation. No, not financial advice, but yeah, I know some people who got kind of blocked on gate.io. So anyways, yeah, I had a few more questions. Do you still have some time, or?
Yeah, it's still 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, cool. Let me think. So regarding layer 0, I want to talk about the Broxus Bridge and allowing transfers of USDC to the Binance Smart Chain, kind of doing a cross-chain bridge, but being able to go from USDT straight to USDC on another chain. I've seen a similar thing to that on, was it Ethereum? It's called Stargate. And it's sort of, because you guys have the same mechanism of locking liquidity on each side so that you can have a fast transfer. Are you guys planning to thinking about doing something like that in the future?
So actually, we typically try to match the tokens that have the exact value. For example, if you have the official emission of USDT, for example, on Ethereum side, and I'm not sure that Tether has its own BNB chain, but let's take an example on Avalanche that we are going to add very soon. So there is both emissions of USDT natively in those chains. So, and in this case, we match both token addresses within our bridge configuration that's published in chain. And in this case, so you need to have the supply of tokens on both sides just to easily transfer this way or another. But in case, for example, when you transfer some token, so this is what we call a universal bridge, so it will just get locked on one chain, and there will be issued a derivative token with the prefix OCT after Octus in another chain. For example, if I would like to transfer the bridge token to, I don't know, to Phantom, for example, so I will get OCT bridge in there. And speaking about transferring, for example, if you have USDT on one side and you want to get USDC, for example, in another chain, so this is what is called cross-chain swap. So we already have several implementations that are currently mostly in Everscale sites, when people can, for example, participate on Everscale Launchpad with the Ethereum tokens or BNB tokens, for example. So, and they get automatically converted through the DEX to the target form of Ever. But nothing complex is in doing this for all other chains, and I hope that we will also show some implementation of cross-chain swaps. Hope, if I remember it well, so there was at least one team in the grants program who were doing this. So, and hopefully they will be ready to show something like this soon.
Awesome.
But it's not complex, and the only things that we are focusing on is that it should be a true on-chain swap. Because I know that some bridges, what they do, they actually have liquidity on both chains, and they simply off-chain, make off-chain settlement, and then release a certain amount of tokens on the other side. So this is not our way. So our way is a true on-chain consensus through the relayers, and that is what differs the Octus Bridge from most of other solutions.
Yeah, the validator nodes. I think it's very, very great that you guys have a nice decentralized platform. I've seen other similar platforms, but yeah, they're centralized. For example, I think Stargate is centralized. They just have a couple servers running, and then it's controlled by a centralized entity. Whereas you guys developed the software, you gave it out, people put it on their servers, and now they can run the Broxus Bridge validator node by themselves, which makes it like almost like its own blockchain in a way. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, it's not blockchain, but it's rather a protocol. So,
a protocol.
So that is just has a really set rules of consensus, and well, it operates pretty similar to the security standards of most blockchains.
Awesome. I was also want to ask you about the integration between the bridge and Qube. You kind of mentioned that you're trying to sort of make the system, all of the dApps that Broxus creates, more as efficient as possible. What sort of cross dApp integrations do you have planned within your own Broxus ecosystem?
Well, for now, so we are focusing, we have a really long roadmap. So for both Vlad Qube, Octus Bridge, and also a set of our other products like Ever Wallet, for example. I think that for this year, there will be no really big new products. So mostly we will work on implementing all those features that we promised in our roadmap, and especially in our recent launchpad start of the Qube token. But speaking about, for example, interconnection of different protocols. So in Octus Bridge, you have what is called credit processor. So that allows you to get funds to Everscale without even having Ever tokens. So
that's really cool. I use that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So even if you are new to Everscale ecosystem, for example, and you don't have the native currency, so everything you need to do, you just need to have the wallet address, and you can get it without any funds. And when you get transferred, for example, your USDTs, so Octus Bridge uses Vlad Qube to exchange those USDT, a small part of those USDTs that you indicate to Evers, unwrap them, and use for the gas payments. And then you get the change of this transfer directly to a wallet that is sufficient to deploy your wallet in the network. And this credit processor is used not only for transfers to Everscale, but rather this is the technology that is called hidden bridge, when you can transfer, for example, USDT from Ethereum to BNB chain onto any other connected chains, and without even touching Everscale. So, but under the curtain, so you can the bridge exchanges a small fraction of your tokens to the gas, just to cover the gas fees for reaching the consensus and transfer, and then you get your happy tokens on the other side. So, and this is what we aim to provide to different dApps and different chains for the cross-chain transfers, actually. And they can easily integrate it within the on-chain application without even thinking about it. You need to have something on the Everscale side.
I see. So it is almost like an L2 built on Everscale that bridges different blockchains. Is that kind of correct way of thinking about it?
Yeah, well, you can call it like this, maybe.
Okay. So you're basically going from Ethereum to Avalanche using the Octus Bridge, and then when you're transferring, you have to pay the Ethereum gas fees. A little bit of that is paid for, gets transferred on the Everscale blockchain to pay for the Everscale, what do you call it? Not transaction, but the sort of the gas fees. And then from there you go to Avalanche.
Yeah, so actually what is done there, so that you, as Octus Bridge uses Everscale for reaching consensus, it is still on-chain consensus, so you need to pay gas fees. And to get these gas fees, so you need to take the gas from somewhere. So, and actually a small fraction, again, so of tokens that you are transferring, so is used to pay this gas fees, and it's a very small one, because compared especially to Ethereum, so it's just negligibly small. And Everscale gas fees is really one of the best ones that we have seen.
Awesome, that's really cool. So it's already has like it's a layer 0, but the layer 0 confirms on Everscale as a validation service, sort of. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so.
Cool. I think that was it for all my questions. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about, or that you want to kind of share specifically?
Just want to thank your audience, because I have seen a lot of newcomers after your videos, so who are coming to our social media and asking questions. So guys, we are welcoming everyone, so please come. We have a really friendly support and really friendly community who are willing to help. So, and of course, if you have any ideas, any feedback on the Broxus products, so please feel free to share it with us, because it is not ignored at all. So as I said, we are really carefully following the feedback from the community, and if anything you see can be improved, so we are always there to hear you. So, and we have a really tough roadmap for this year, so, and a lot of new features to come, but still we will find the time to implement those small but really helping features that people are asking us. So please.
Awesome. Yeah, great end user focus. It was great to have you on here today. I was really excited to hear about all this information regarding Octus Bridge and what you guys have planned for the future. And it's just, for me, it's really cool tech. And yeah, thank you for joining.
Thank you, Mark, for inviting. Have a nice day.
I'll catch you later. Have a good one.
Yeah, see you.
Bro, we need to pump it. Everybody go to Twitter and hashtag the things, pump it, pump it real good. We need a good pump. Everybody deserves a nice Tezos pump.